Hello, 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 everyone. Happy Sunday, guys. Happy Sunday. For those of you that are back again, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you all had an enjoyable Sunday thus far. We're back and we're back with part two of that tragic story from Monroe, Louisiana. You know, we talk about how people have no regards for human life. We don't understand why. But there's a problem. There's a major problem. Thank you so very much for that super chat, Sassy. She says you sound so much better. Look at God. Thank you, boo. Says I'm sitting up here with some lemon and ginger tea. I gotta make it do what it do. I appreciate you, sis. But we have to understand what's going on with our younger generation. Tonight, there's a mother out there hurting. As a matter of fact, two mothers out there, three mothers out there hurting. Because each one of those victims that lost their lives, they each had a mother. And we pray for them. We pray for them because all of this senseless hand play, guns in the hands of irresponsible people. Irresponsible. But tonight we're going to talk about it. We will definitely talk about it. And we're going to go through a trail of failure. Trail that stretches a few years down. On Halloween night, the city of Monroe made a second arrest. They arrested 24-year-old Cameron James Kreiner. He was he was a part of this. 24 years old. But he's not new to the law. Cameron has a record that stretches from, oh Lord, that long. And he leaves behind a story that should have ended long before three more lives were lost. It's a pattern. But before we get into this story, let me do what I do. And I want to welcome each and every one of you that are here with me this evening. Welcome each and every one of you that took time out of your busy evening to come and sit with Moca. For that, I appreciate you. For those of you that are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. The rules still apply. Here at Moca and the Nola Bells, there are no big eyes, no little U's. All opinions are welcome, and all opinions will be respected here. We've built this community on love and on respect, and everything here will be respected. We accept nothing less. For those of you who have not yet hit that like button, please do your girl a favor and hit the like button. And if you appreciate what I do, share out the live. That would be greatly appreciated. And don't forget the emojis to the side. Once again, welcome to each and every one of you, and happy Sunday. Oh my God, look, my girl Samantha is back. Welcome, sis. And thank you for becoming a new member. Kristen, I see you, sister. Welcome back. Welcome back. My girl Sassy is back in here too. I see you, sis. See you. My beautiful sister, Dr. J, I see you as always, my love. Paula E. Happy Sunday, my love. Hey, Tonya Nika, welcome, baby. Tanya Robertson, I see you, my love. My girl Sunshine. Happy Sunday, boo. April Webster, I see you, beautiful. Cool girl sister, I see you, my love. Hey, Cynthia Horman. Taisha, my girl, welcome, boo. Hey, Wanda, welcome, my love. Hey, Sherry, welcome, sis. Happy Sunday to you. Love all. Trust none. Thank you for that. My girl Tracy Ellen is here. Welcome, sis. Hey, Ann, welcome, sister. Deborah Crosby, I see you, my love. Welcome, baby, welcome. My beautiful sister Rock. She's back again. Hey, boo. Hey, Shona, how are you, my love? Happy Sunday. Dorothy Jenkins, welcome, my love. Happy Sunday to you. Look at my sister Shanta. Hey, sis. Welcome, welcome. She said, sadly, this is my hometown. Girl, this is a lot. See, and that's what I say, you never know. We talk about everything, and it's right here in our very own neighborhoods. Hey, Debbie, welcome, sis. Thank you so very much for sharing it to your Facebook page. Thank you, Shanta. Hey, Shanae, welcome, baby. Look at my beautiful sister Deidre is up in here. Tanya says, Mocha, after this morning, I said a special prayer. I heard you loud and clear. God has us all covered. He does. He does. And I thank you for that prayer, boo. But nonetheless, here we are, guys. Here we are. This young man, the second one that was arrested, Cameron Kreiner, he has a pattern. He has a pattern. Because when we talk about broken systems, this right here is the definition of a broken system. It makes you wonder who raised these animals. And tonight, before we get started, we are going to say rest in peace to 27-year-old Jamal Bosley. Rest in peace to 24-year-old Jaborris Simpson. And my God, rest in paradise to that beautiful 2-year-old baby, Jhersi. Hey, sis Sean B, welcome, boo. Hey, Essie, welcome, my love. It makes no sense. These people did not deserve what happened to them. And so senseless. My heart bleeds for the families of these victims. That baby, life never started. She didn't get a chance. And here we are, Travis Payton, Cameron Kreiner, monsters who are not new to the system. They're both faced with 3 counts of first-degree murder, home invasion, and criminal conspiracy. One thing about Louisiana, I don't care what happens, what goes down, and where it goes down. When one hurt, we all hurt. I don't have to know my neighbor, but if they need me, I'm coming running. Hey, Wendy, welcome, my love. Carla Henry, welcome, baby. And we rally with each other. It doesn't matter the color, because here we see no color. And they had a balloon release. It was strong community and family turnout for their visual. They had a balloon release. They had a prayer walk to memorialize the victims. Community leaders showed up and showed out. That's when I mean, I don't need to know you and you don't need to know me to show me that you care. Cameron Kreiner, a monster. In his own right, a monster. Now, I've shared with you all the backstory on Travis. So now here we are, Cameron Kreiner. We're going to start from 2021 discussing him and ending with that Grammett Street triple homicide. Every receipt, every charge, every ignored flag. Tonight we're going to talk about it. Cameron Kreiner. In 2021, we're going to start there. He's arrested after his 3-month-old son is found bludgeoned to death. 2021, Cameron Cryer is charged with second-degree feticide. He's charged with domestic abuse battery of a pregnant victim. He's also charged in 2021 with criminal damage to property. Now Monroe, Louisiana. Hey Bernice, welcome my love. Here we are, 19-year-old Cameron Cryer. And he's already capable of that level of violence. And yet, hey Leah, welcome baby. And yet, no conviction. I looked to search. There was no conviction that ever appeared in the court docket. No sentence. So there was no justice. That baby's life was erased and the system looked away. So in Cameron Cryer's situation, that was system failure number one. There was no justice for the unborn, nor was there justice for the born. So if the courts had done their job in 2021, what happened next would have never been possible. Because when a man's violence goes unchecked, his anger only grows stronger. It grows bolder. It grows louder and more dangerous. 2022, there was a protective order and firearm case. Cameron Cryer is arrested. He's arrested by the Ouachita Parish Sheriff's Office after being found near the railroad tracks, armed, while violating protective orders. Hey, Samantha. Welcome, sis. It's so good to see you back, boo. In 2022, Cameron Cryer faces 7 charges. And that don't include those 2021 charges. 20, Mary Kay, welcome, my love. Authentically me, welcome, baby. In 2022, he's facing resisting an officer, violation of a protective order, possession of a firearm by a convicted domestic offender, and domestic abuse, aggravated assault, and child endangerment. And what happened there on October 1st of 2022, the police were called. They responded to an address on Hippolyte Avenue. They were called and told that Cameron was there, and he should have not been there because there was a protective order in place. When they arrived, hey, Tarsha, welcome, sis. When they arrived, he's running, hiding by the railroad tracks. He know he had warrants. He's in possession of a gun, and he's already been convicted of domestic abuse before. Those 7 charges, including a firearm violation, false imprisonment, and assault with a child present. His ass was a walking red flag. And what happened? Monroe, Louisiana, what happened? He walked out yet again. You all released an armed domestic offender back into the community. It ain't us taking us out. It's the system that's taking us out. When someone shows you who they are, please believe them. And that's in any situation. But when the system shows you that it won't protect you, you better run. Because the next headline is already being written. And in 2025, it was written in blood. 3 lives were taken. When police were called out on Grant, hey, Angela, welcome, baby. When they were called out on Grammar Street at 2:56 in the morning, they found these 2 men. 2:56 in the morning. They find Jaborris Simpson. They find precious, innocent Jhersi. And they find Jamal Bosley. They found him dead after a senseless home invasion. Cameron Cryer was arrested on Halloween night. Trick or treat, bitch. He was charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder, home invasion, and criminal conspiracy, where we know Travis Payton was the first that was arrested. Travis Payton sits with a $3.3 million bond. James Cryer, Cameron James Cryer, he too sits with a $3.3 million bond. The potential sentence for that is life without parole. But in Louisiana, I see that as death. Here, death sits on the table. But you see, this did not just happen overnight. This started years ago when the system looked the other way. They looked the other way. Think about it. How does a 19-year-old accused of killing his own child walks free without so much as a trial? Where did the system fail first? The officers, the DA, the courts, they allowed this unhinged monster to walk free. And more importantly, if that baby or the mother of that baby had a different skin color or a different zip code, would that case have disappeared like that? Every time we sweep violence under the rug because it's domestic, we set the stage for another tragedy. This man has already shown the system what he's capable of. But he's out here with the damn gun, violating protective orders with a child involved. This wasn't supposed to happen, Monroe. This wasn't supposed to take place like this. And here we are, 3 deaths later, all because a violent man, as a matter of fact, 2 violent men, kept being handed freedom like it was a reward. It was a chain of failure. Cameron Cryer should never slip through the cracks again. I don't know who raised Cameron Cryer, and I fault them as well. Because Cameron Cryer has been a menace to society. Cameron Cryer wasn't even good to his own family. Now, Cameron Cryer, date of birth, August of 2001. Let me show you how he's been in the system doing shady shit. Cameron Cryer born 2001. He's been stealing the identity of several family members for years. Looking at his background, this little motherfucker got his earliest job listed in 2011. Bitch, you were 10. Who's hiring you at 10? But it wasn't him. It was an identity of a relative he stole. Even using the fact, hey PJ, welcome baby. Welcome back, sunshine. Even using the identity, stealing the identity of a cousin. And have on his good old resume that he attended TSU, Texas State University. from 2013 to 2018. So if you're that much of a genius at 10 years old, entering universities, who let all of this shit slide? How did this happen? But yet, in and out of the system, and they let you do this shit. Monroe, Louisiana, I have questions. 19 years old and already standing over the body of your 3-year-old. The arrest report for your 3-month-old unborn baby, that arrest report read like a horror story. This woman was beaten severely. The baby dead. And still, the system somehow found a way to look away. Monroe, I have questions. How does someone charged with killing a 3-month-old ends up back on the street? Hey, Melissa, welcome, baby. Where was the oversight? And who, Monroe, who decided this wasn't worth pursuing? Because if I could be honest for a moment, once again had this child or the mother been from a wealthy family or a different neighborhood, this case would have made national headlines. But because it happened in Monroe, it got buried. That baby never had a voice. Never. Cameron crying. Again, I want to know who raised you. Monroe, I want to know, how do you allow such violent offenders, and as young as both of these clowns were, you allowed them to walk. You allowed them to walk. Hey, JJ, welcome, sis. You allowed them to walk. But yet, here we have a mother, a grandmother, hurting because Monroe dropped the ball. Monroe dropped the ball. As if Cameron Cryer had not done enough. It hurts me to my core to think about what those police officers saw when they responded to that call of the 3 victims. Lakanga, my girl, welcome, beautiful. Welcome. I miss you, sis. It left family members in pain. They left the community crying just as loud. A baby gone, 2 young adults unalive. And what's really sad, Monroe, is that here you are and you want to throw drugs. No, keep the fucking drug part out. You see, Venetia, welcome, boo. The drug part is the cover up. See, that's how the system tries to cover up things within the Black community. We're going to call a thing a thing. They cover up instant where they failed. They cover it up, including drugs. No, there was no drugs involved. We're going to tell it for what it is. These young men got their ass whipped at a homecoming game. And instead of them laying their ass there and just taking the ass whipping, they wanted to retaliate. And then here comes the very same system that put these animals back in the streets. Now they want to wrap it around. Now, it wasn't drugs. It wasn't drugs. These cases have to be talked about. Not to sensationalize them at all, but because we can't get numb. Can't scroll past all these tragedies. This is real. This is our people. Every victim matters. Whether they were saints or sinners, adults or children, they all deserve the chance. You see, when children are taken in violence like this, it exposes how deep the cracks really go. Retaliation seems to have been the motive. It tells us something about what's brewing under the surfaces of many communities, not just Monroe. But then you have those that's in power, those that's supposed to serve and protect. What are you doing? What are you doing? Monroe, we're talking about you at this moment, but Monroe is not just another dot on the map, y'all. It's a reflection of what's happening everywhere. It's happening everywhere. Broken systems, dangerous cycles, and innocent people's lives are trapped between the two. This makes no sense to me. Jamal and Jaborris, they matter. They may have not been perfect people. I don't give a damn because neither are you and neither am I. But they were somebody's child. Precious little Jhersi was somebody's child. They were all somebody's plan for the future. And I keep coming back to that little baby. These babies don't choose the world they're born into. They don't choose the people that raised them. And what hurts most is that they have to pay the price. This is so heartbreaking. Travis Payton ain't shit. Cameron Cryer ain't shit. Because we notice that arrests don't always mean everything, because both of these little motherfuckers been arrested before. And were let to walk free. Arrest is one thing. Justice is another, because just because they were arrested, that won't bring that baby back. That will not bring back those two young adults. They were arrested. That won't make Jaborris' mother, Miss Monica, sleep well at night. It won't. My heart hurts for Miss Monica. And in this situation, we have to be careful not to let the law's paperwork be the end of this story, because they done showed us time and time again what their paperwork can do. And to Monroe, you're quick to say drugs. Sometimes it might be true, but this time it's not. Sick of people making excuses for bad behavior and wrong damn choices. Drugs is a symptom. Yes, it is. Poverty is a symptom. Of course it is. I've seen poor people. I mean, really poor people with more integrity. Look at my girl, LaConger. Thank you, boo. Monroe, you have to do better. And they do. And they do. Thank you for that super chat, my love. I've seen very poor people. People with nothing, barely able to sustain, standing up in their truth and with more integrity than somebody that has millions. So we're not going to let poverty play a role in this. They say lack of opportunity is a symptom. That's another damn excuse. Because the lack of opportunity is what you make it. You don't want your homeboys to see you working at McDonald's. You don't want them to see you working on a garbage truck. Oh, you don't want your homeboys to see you digging ditches and flipping burgers. I don't give a damn. An honest living is an honest living. And when you work for yours and you're being honest about it, you don't have to beg, borrow, and steal. They say trauma passed through generations is a system, and I beg to fucking differ. We all grew up with something not seemingly right within our families. But does that define who we are? When you know better as an adult, you do better. You won't change. The change has to be within you. Do you honestly believe if I grew up looking at my mama being a hoe, do you think my mindset would be I want to be a hoe because mama was a hoe? No, that's not what I want for myself. But you gotta want it. You gotta want it. On top of that, that retaliation shit, the quick trigger, the idea that violence solves disputes. And all this is a goddamn recipe for more and more tragedies. People could never use addiction as an excuse to treat people like they don't matter. We got to look at the systems that allow these young ass children to be trapped in these cycles. If Monroe, Louisiana would have done something long time ago with Travis, if Monroe, Louisiana would have done something long time ago with Cameron, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Where were these young people parents? Because there's no goddamn way a child of mine would be out there doing all the shit that Travis and Cameron was doing. And there would be no intervention. You couldn't lay your ass up in my house. You couldn't knock on my door for a plate of food and not even a damn glass of water. Yes, you're for me, but I don't condone this bullshit. You want to be in the street, being a menace, well, you survive in the streets. But it's too many of parents out there that's accepting this bullshit without consequences. That's how these monsters are created. They're out there in the street hustling, selling drugs, doing all of this bullshit and bringing dirty money home to mama. And mama shutting the fuck up because she getting her bills paid by a child she knows, robbing, stealing, unaliving people. And you're making excuses. You're a piss poor ass mama. This is a lot. Just hearing the ins and outs of this story made me mad. And when I tell you furious, I was furious. This shit has to stop. I'm sick of turning on TV and opening up the computer and seeing babies dying because seeing these lives being taken because adults refuse to change the script. Society refused to hold these motherfuckers accountable. I think about this baby. It has to be a hurting thing to see her little toys laying around that she can't play with anymore. Lullabies that she won't get sung to her anymore. Because if you look at Jaborris, you look at him with that little girl, that young man loved everything about his baby. It showed. It showed. Beautiful thing in all of this. Community leaders, pastors, they came together. We have to protect our babies. They're human. They're human. Oh, Lord. It's a lot. Let me grab some of these comments. My girl Ann says, for this fool to unalive 3 people, one being a baby, needs to be in prison for the rest of his miserable life. And he's in the, they're both in the great state of Louisiana. Louisiana have no picks and chooses, right? No picks and chooses. Because what's going to happen? What's going to happen? These 2 young men, they're going straight to Angola. There's no doubt about it. That's their future. They're going to Angola. They will never see the light of day. And it is my wish, and I do believe, going to Angola, they're going straight to death row. That young, they're going to death row. So whomever they belong to, whomever their family is, I bet now they wish they had taught them something in life. They're going to wish. And thank you so much for the super sticker, my love. This is insane. There's too many children being failed in this world. And we're looking at it happen. The system is allowing it to happen. But yet they want to, when it's election time, vote for me, vote for you. The fuck for what? For what? Because you're failing us miserably. And says this boy had so many other prior convictions. There's no way he should have been on these streets. And this crime is worse. And that part. He's a monster indeed. A monster indeed. And what's really sad is the mother. The mother of that baby that was unalive. She reported it. She said that after he beat her so badly, she didn't feel the baby inside moving anymore. The next day, she went to the hospital. They told her, ma'am, we are sorry for your loss. She delivered an unborn baby. But yet, they allowed this monster. Hey, Omni, they allowed this monster to walk free. And both of them, Travis and Cameron, they may have come from good backgrounds. I don't know. It's heartbreaking because when you look at them, there's somebody's son too, right? Somebody probably prayed along the way for both of them. But bad choices, bad company, bad mindset. It turned both of them in a goddamn headline. Victim after victim after victim, and now 3 victims at once. Police still haven't dropped all the details yet. All they dropped was enough to charge him. But they did say when they arrested Travis, they said more arrests would come. And I guess because of the camera footage inside that home, it showed he wasn't alone. Somebody other than them two, I'm pretty sure, because the streets talk, they knew this was going to happen. So it wasn't an accident. They planned it. This was all about ego. Nothing more, nothing less. This shit was all about ego. Monroe. Monroe, Monroe, Monroe. You are not Los Angeles. You ain't New York. But unfortunately, the streets run the same game. Fear, survival, silence. And it's that silence part. That's the one. The silence. That's the one that kills justice every goddamn time. I don't care where you are. what community that you come from. Every community got that don't snitch rule. Tell me, how the hell, how the hell you gonna keep protecting these young killers? That ain't loyalty. That's complicity. And I don't know who this video will ever reach. Some of y'all might know Travis. Some of y'all might know Cameron. Y'all should have done better. The records that they had prior to this incident, both their asses should have been off the streets. Those arrests is just the beginning. And I believe with all my heart, looking at the way that community rallied together and looking at the fight, that's in that mama, shit go shake in Monroe. And I don't blame her. Not one bit do I blame her. Monroe, Louisiana, you got to start facing your shit. Louisiana, you got to face this shit. America, you got to face this shit because it's happening everywhere. They keep talking about violence is always in small communities, small cities like Monroe. It happens because they blame it on pain. They blame it on poverty. Ain't no damn poverty here. Poverty is because you want to be in damn poverty. You have 24 hours in a day like every damn body else have 24 hours in a day. Life is what you make it. These children, they have no feelings, no regards to human life. You know what's really sad? The system has gotten comfortable because it keeps us busy burying our youth instead of building them up. And that's why I talk. That's why I come out here, because we can't keep covering up these stories. The minute we stop naming the victims, the system goes right back to pretending they don't exist. And as the system continue pretending they don't exist, that's how the Travises and the Camerons of the world walks the hell free. I'm with y'all, something needs to change. My girl Sassy says, instead of wasting money on stupid stuff, I think more prisons should be built. And the system started fresh across the whole board. Well, let me tell you this, and I agree with you, Sassy. But you remember, 1 second, guys. Do y'all remember a couple of years ago, they were talking about overcrowded jails, right? And and Trump started giving pardons to what they classified as nonviolent offenders, releasing people in jail, from jail. And if we look at the timeline, if I'm crazy, I want y'all to correct me. If we look at the timeline from when these prior incidents occurred with these young men, that was around that time. The system allowed them to walk. The system overlooked the crimes that they committed. Oh, it's okay. You done beat a woman and unalive the baby. It's okay. You ain't no threat. You could go. And that's what they did with Cameron. Travis, the same way. So who are we to blame? That's why when Moca went to digging, there was no dockets. Nothing. The system gave them a pass. And says to me, the way this young generation gets slapped on the wrist for doing adult crimes should be sentenced for their adult crimes, period, and exactly. And when I tell you, when that came about, Louisiana was full of criminals walking the streets. Strong survivors welcome, my love. Full of criminals walking the streets. So all of those charges that should have been on these young men, the charges remain. There was never a sentence for the crime. Terrific. Hey, sis. You good, boo? That's insane to me. Welcome back, sis. That's insane to me. That part, Kristen, that baby had nothing to do with this. Hey, Simone, welcome. My sister Tarsa said the system is dangerously broken. Yes, ma'am. Everywhere. Everywhere. My girl Samantha says, my cousin was unalive just like that, minus the baby. He was helping a friend and whipped a man, and the man and his family came back and hit him 32 times, and his friend four times. Both passed together. Oh my God. See, that's the thing. Since when getting your ass whipped resorted to coming back and retaliating in that manner? When? The world today is far from the world that we once knew. Cool girl sister said, Mocha, is this another Detroit circuit court that's getting paid under the table too? I don't believe these people here getting paid under the table. Cool girl sisters, I believe they're just lazy. I believe Monroe is just damn lazy. Because this shit ain't making sense. It's so heartbreaking. And like I said, we have to keep the mothers of these victims lifted. We have to keep them lifted. And said it's like a lot of these crimes being committed now is by our young youth. And they get to grow up being even more violent. Yes and yes. And you know why? They commit these violent crimes as youths, right? They're labeled youth offenders. But the state worries about all the wrong things instead of worrying about cutting food stamps off from people. Should be worried about building youth facilities to house all of these little dangerous monsters up. You don't want to charge them as children. You don't want to charge them as children. So what do? You take a violent youth offender and you give them back to the raggedy ass parents that failed them to begin with. And all you're doing is giving them a right to go back into them same broken and raggedy ass homes to learn some more filth, to go back out in the street and reoffend. Then you got all this violence and anger and hating your ass as a youth. You grow up to really be a menace to fucking society. But yet America, y'all want to tell people when they can eat. Y'all taking food out of people's mouths. The White House could take trips, robbing people. But y'all letting us continue to unalive us. Something is wrong. And it's a setup. It's a setup. And if these goddamn little fast ass women, yeah, I call them fast. Exactly, strong survive. Too many kids having kids. And these kids that is having kids, it's because mothers don't want to be mothers anymore. Fathers don't want to be fathers anymore. When you're out here competing with your own children, dressing up like your children, running the street and in the dope game even with your children, how the hell can you raise a child? Hey, Tammy, welcome, my love. How can you raise a child to do the right thing if you're out there even with them? It makes no sense. Exactly. Sassy said the system gave them that untouchable attitude to do that dirty shit. That part, Sassy. The system gave him a pass 3 times, 2 times. And this was the outcome the third time. So they really believe. Travis believed he was untouchable. When Travis believed he was untouchable and was out there and able to do all the dirty shit he's been doing, then hello, Cameron, you did the most. You felt you were untouchable too. Hey, Trina, welcome, baby. This is sad. Sassy says maybe the system purposely, but put certain ones back out to do this kind of work. Look, I wouldn't doubt it. Get your ass up out of here because that's less we got to deal with. And that's the way it's looking. Ann says, I can't imagine what was going on in these children's lives to make them go outside and commit these vicious, deadly crimes on others. Poor parenting. Poor parenting. We have to keep it real. Because anytime your child, my child, anybody else's child, anytime they leave your home, you have to know if you raise them right, that's a representation of you. Hell, even if you raise them wrong, that's still a representation of you. So at the end of the day, good, bad, right or wrong, it still comes back on you. Kristen said he loved that baby. She had the brightest smile when he was holding her. He was a proud daddy. Proud father. Sassy girl, my heart hurts too. Hey, Latrice, welcome, boo. And you know what Latrice is saying? That's the sad part. Jaborris begged these bitches to spare his baby. Spare my baby. These monsters deserve every fucking thing. Everything that's coming their way. And had they not passed the bill with the overcrowding of the damn jails, neither one of these monsters would have ever been able to walk and do this to nobody. Nobody. That family didn't deserve this. Did not deserve this. Miss Jaborris's mother, Miss Monica, that lady vowed to never ever celebrate another birthday. Why? The life of her grandbaby and the life of her son was taken on the very day she was born. That got her hurt. That got to hurt. Cowards, Ann said these fools had malicious intent on their minds. You wait till 3 in the morning to break in the house to do this crime. They don't deserve justice. And sad part about it is they want to sit up here and be thuggish. They want to be gangbangers. They want to be all the shit that they don't deserve to be. Because if you want to be considered as such, you have to play the part and stand in the shoes, because only a coward would do this shit to somebody in the middle of the night. And it's sad. Debbie says black on black crime is of no concern or importance. That's the attitude and stance in this great country of the USA. Debbie, say it. Say it. They're setting them up for failure. For failure. These children. These children don't want to be in school. They don't want to get no education. But I be damned if a child of mine in my home, under my roof, is going to ever tell me what they ain't doing. Not on my watch. But too much these parents want to be friends with their children. And that's a question that's been racing through my mind for a while. How the hell does these young children, no job, no income, how do they keep getting their hands on these firearms is beyond me. It's beyond me. Debbie says, I'm seeing so many parents that are scared of their own children. Let's talk about it. First, before I dive into this one, let me just throw this out there. It couldn't be me. It could not be me. A parent afraid of their own children. When you see shit like that, I don't feel sorry for the parent. Because, bitch, you ain't raised them right. Somewhere along the line, you fucked up. Because ain't nothing that I done clothed and fed and raised to the best of my ability will I be afraid of. I'll dial 911 myself. Come get him out of my house. And if 911 don't work, y'all don't want to come get him? Let me call the nearest funeral home. The undertaker go come get him. Because there ain't no child. Ain't no child of mine. Mm-mm. And says these parents need to start being arrested too. If their minors have too many crimes, obviously they're not doing that part, and I blame the parents. I blame the damn parents. Right, Venetia? My girl said most of them are getting weapons from their own parents because they do just the same thing. And that part, and we have to hold the parents accountable. As it says, what is happening to these people that's supposed to uphold the law? Nobody in law enforcement cares to uphold the law anymore. No, they don't. They go to work and get a check. That's it. That's all. Why is it that you think you see so many police officers that's supposed to be on duty? You see them parked in places they shouldn't be parked. Riding the clock. Going to restaurants, eating for free. Harassing young girls in the streets. Doing the most. Hmm. This world is not the world that we once knew. Exactly, Debbie. Them no good ass parents create these monsters. Then they want us to deal with them. Not on my watch. Mm-mm. But parents, how do y'all feel today knowing that these monsters that y'all raise out here doing the most, done the most? How could you all walk through the community of Monroe? That's what I want to know. Because at the end of the day, it all starts at home. It starts with you. I understand when these young children get in the streets, they do what they want to do. I get that. But at a certain point of them being in the street, if they were raised right, they're going to take some of those values out there with them. For these little motherfuckers to do all what they done, they had no values to take with them. The system is to blame. These monsters are to blame. But God damn it, the parents are to blame. They are to blame because who raises their child to not have compassion, to not have empathy, to not have feelings for a human life? Who raises their children to feel and think that way? I don't get it. I don't get it. Debbie said spawns of demons. We don't know who or what we encounter. Girl, let me highlight that. Spawns of demons. We don't know who or what we encounter day to day, smiling in your face. But they're wolves in sheep's clothing. Debbie. And that's everywhere you go, sis. That's everywhere you go. Who do you trust? For all the stories that we're uncovering, excuse me, for all the stories that we are uncovering and we're seeing today, You can't even trust the people you lay down with. No, it's bad. Sassy says, but yet there's someone that had rolled up smoke that's doing 30 years, baby. Kristen says, I don't want to make it political, but he was trying to figure out how to get the brown and black votes. That's what he was doing. That's what he was doing. That's why he let them the hell out. This shit makes no sense. But the system failed Monroe. The system failed Monroe yet again. Tammy says their past, how they were brought up, raised, taught, are not. They're definitely the product of their environment. That part. That part. Mm-mm. This is crazy. So here we have Travis. Here we have Travis. Not only do we have Travis, but we have Cameron. Both locked up, facing 3 counts of first-degree murder, home invasion, and conspiracy. Hmm. If prosecutors if the prosecutors push it all the way, they're going to both be sitting on death row. I see they've been charged. They've walked before. The question is, will the community, will the political officials, will they rally enough? Because I don't want y'all to just tell me about the charge sheet. I want to know, will that community rally enough to see the punishment? Oh, yes, ma'am, Sassy. Oh, yes, ma'am. Will the system, will Monroe, will Ouachita Parish do right by these victims? Will they? You know, we'd be surprised how many times these cases drag on. The representatives in Ouachita Parish, we don't want to hear evidence got lost. We don't want to hear folks got tired. And we don't want to hear shit about a plea deal that done turned a life sentence into a slap on the wrist. Not this time. Not when little Jhersi's blood was on that floor. Not when Jaborris' blood was on that floor. And not when Jamal's blood was on that floor. From the detectives to the DA. Accountability. Accountability. Y'all gotta own this shit. This time, it's on you. This time, y'all gotta do right. The justice system can't measure what these families done lost. There's a mama somewhere. There's a mama somewhere. Miss Monica. I'm still hearing her screams. She goes and she posts every day on Facebook how she can't sleep. There's a grandmother somewhere, Miss Monica, trying to plan 2 funerals. There's a brother somewhere, I saw his post, who blames himself for not being there for Jaborris. See the aftermath. The aftermath. It don't end when the police packs up the tags, pick up the tape. That's when the real pain begins. You can't heal. Can't heal when every month, every day, somebody's reminding you how your people died. But what you could do is keep fighting. Keep fighting. So you could know that their death is not in vain. After this incident, Monroe, it's time to start having some real conversations after this. Not the pretty kind. Not the let's have a visual and then go home kind. I'm talking the uncomfortable kind. The raw truth-telling kind. The kind that brings out both the pain and the possibility. It's time for these pastors to start opening up these pulpits for discussions about violence. Ain't nobody got time to want to see what pastor can outdress the next one. Ain't nobody got time to see what organization in the church could raise as much money as they can for whatever going on. Ain't nobody got time for that. If you were really chosen by the Most High, Mr. Pastor, Miss Pastor, First Lady, whoever. If you were chosen, you would stand in the gap and do God's work. You would stand in the gap and do God's work. If you're going to scream over the pulpit to me, thus said the Lord, God did say, suffer not my little children. Now, what part of that, Pastor, that you don't know? What part of that did you miss? Because I have to be honest. From where I sit, I've not seen very pleasure. Lady, hey, boo. From where I sit, I've not seen very many pastors stand in a gap. I've not seen it. Open up your pulpit and let's have these discussions. City leaders, y'all know how to walk around when it's election time, passing out cards, shaking hands, serving a little food, selling votes. It's time for y'all to show up true. Show up in the community before shit like this happens. Don't just get a vote and leave your constituents where they are. Show up. And that way the police and the news people don't have to. Show the hell up. Teachers, mentors, family members within the home. Man, everybody has a role in reshaping the next generation. Everybody. Because if we don't, we're going to be right back here again, crying over more children, crying over another mother, crying over another unexpected headline. And I'm tired. I've never seen nothing like this. Every time you turn around, it's a hashtag. When is enough enough? Seeing our people's stories ending up in yellow tape, covered up in white sheets. And I know we all probably saying, Mocha, always talking about the system. And some in the bushes may be asking, what about accountability in the hood? Well, let me tell y'all something. I ain't gonna talk about one and leave the other one out. It's both. We can't call out the system and demand our people to do better. We gotta have a balance. Gotta have a balance. So yeah, I'm going to keep calling out the politics, but I'm also keep calling on the community. We got to teach our young men and women that conflict ain't got to end in killings. We got to teach our young women that trauma ain't normal. And we got to show these babies that love still exists even when the world don't show it. Mm. Oh, Lord. When I first grabbed onto this story, I was angry. Then I got sad. Then something I could only call, it was like a holy kind of exhaustion. Because it's like we keep preaching. We keep preaching hope over graves. But I'm not going to stop. Because every time I tell one of these stories, somebody somewhere comes here and they have a story. We share these stories. Maybe there's a mother out there listening and feels that she's in a situation and right now her child's life is worth protecting. Maybe somebody's in a situation and hears what we do and realizes, hey, I don't want to be in this abusive situation no more. That's why, hey, Michelle, welcome, boo. That's why we do what we do. Sassy, thank you, boo. Have you heard anything about the mom? The only thing I know about the mom, Sassy, is that she's distraught for sure. The mom was, because we wondered in the beginning, why was the mom not in the picture? But the mom, the most hurting part of that, the mom was on a flight. In the air when she got news of what happened. And that alone was more than enough. More than enough to take her out of here. Because how do you, oh Lord, how do you deal with that? Jeez. But that's why I keep going, y'all. This platform is not just commentary for me. This platform is therapy for the truth. It's a place for the broken, the overlooked, and the unheard. That's why y'all hear me say there are no big I's and there are no little U's here. None. Whether it's 2 or 10, we're going to work it out. And as long as I'm able to come out here, I'm going to keep telling these stories until something changes. Because silence helps the devil. And we are not part of that clan. We don't run with the devil. And when I say justice for Monroe, justice for Monroe means more than just a conviction. Justice means the city, it's time to put real resources into stopping this shit. It means the church is funding programs for the youth and not buying pastor a new car or a new suit or financing the first lady a trip. Save these children. It means the police starting to partner with people instead of just patrolling them. Make them feel safe. It means we as a people, we have to stop normalizing trauma. It means that every little child, their names continues to live through change, not candles. These children matter. Jamal mattered. Jaborris mattered. Little Jhersi mattered. Talk about a lot. But justice, it don't just start in a courtroom. Justice starts in our hearts. Tammy, that's it. That's all, boo. Throwing black and brown people under the bus. Strong Survive said facts. They were only allowed here for the popular vote, that part. Sean says the system fails the country. The parents fail the communities. And that's a fact. That's a fact. No, Rhapsody, I don't believe they're walking this time. I don't believe. Tammy said, I'm still on the orange guy. And he a felon. Where did he do that at, girl? You see that? I don't want to get caught up in that. I don't want to get caught up in that because I can say a lot on that shit. See, but who are we? Who are we? Whatever we say ain't going to change that. We could argue till our tongues fall out. It is what it is with that one. Tanya said, Mocha, y'all know the old rule. I brought you here, I'll take you. Tanya. My mama used to say that all the time. I wish y'all would get smart with me in here. And I never knew what that meant until I got much older. You will never disrespect me in my own shit. I brought you here and I'll take you out. Lord. Those old people had a saying, right? But those old people were full of wisdom. And they believed in train up a child in a way he should go. They believed in spare the rod. These young people today have no clue. Ann said it's alleged this boy had close to 11 prior charges. How did he keep getting out? Each crime he's done was violent enough to keep him locked up, and he got off on the jails were too full. Monroe didn't consider his charges to be serious enough. Since when an overcrowded jail lets a murderer walk free. It's a mess. Sean said Jhersi's mother got the news while on an airplane. Oh, girl. Yeah, yeah. Y'all know, y'all in here talking facts about 45. Trying to grab these comments. Strong Survive said, Mocha, where was this case? So I can follow respectfully. Strong Survive, just go in, when you go to Google, just type in the triple the triple massacre in Monroe, Louisiana. That's where you'll find it. It's a shame. It's a shame. We shouldn't have to be living like this in this day and time. We should not. We deserve so much better. Ann says, I'm glad we have social media. Things can't be hidden anymore. And people deserve justice out in the open. No more hidden crime, secrets, especially with our young babies. And exactly. Sassy ain't shit. Thank you, sis. Sassy said, I just checked the hole in the wall for my last $2. That girl ain't shit. Crazy as a road lizard. And social media. Look at my girl, Miss Antoinette. Social media has intervened for a lot of these cases, and it is my belief, had it not been for social media, a lot of these cases would have never been brought to the forefront. So social media is good in a way. Oh Lord, yes, Strong survive. History has definitely repeated itself time and time again. That's why we have to be mindful. We have to be mindful of how we said and say we going to church and who's preaching to us. What are you preaching? Because if you're just reading it out of the book, I could sit home and read it to myself. What are you doing? See, because when they created that, what would Jesus do? That wasn't created just because. Because now, Pastor, I have to ask you, are you walking in his steps? We have to stop idolizing these people that weren't called to lead a flock. Most of them were sent. Half of them went. They weren't called. But you want to lead a flock. The direction Pastor and First Lady going. The majority of them leading their flock straight to hell. Straight to hell, because why in so many communities the streets are full of crackheads? The streets are full of gangbangers. The streets are full of homeless people, wayward women, children not knowing what direction to go into. Pastor, where do you step in? Pastor, what are you sitting there for? Right, PJ? But you got 3 different offerings, and then you still want a tithe envelope, a building fund envelope, a pastor's anniversary envelope, a it's my wife's birthday envelope. Get the hell up out of here. And the world suffers. With number 45 doing what he's doing right now, all the stipulations that he's putting on America, threatening to take food out of children's mouth, regardless of their skin color. Every church in the world should have food trucks lined up to no end in their parking lot, taking care of their own people. But the world is hurting, yet they still want an offering. I wish the hell I would. I really wish the hell I would. Sean says a grandmother and her grandma oh, but what? Grandmother and her grandbaby were hit sitting on a front porch during a cookout. One of our biker clubs made dude turn himself in because the streets talk. Okay, I remember that. I remember you telling me that. Strong Survive says if this don't wake the people up, what will? Women, babies, children being unalive at an all-time alarming rate. Facts. Facts. Every 30 minutes, Carla. Every 30 minutes. Sunshine says, Mocha, here in Miami, it's like almost every night somebody's getting hit by a pow. They just shot a 14-year-old kid walking to get something to eat. It don't make sense. It don't make sense. Please, your lady, thank you for the super sticker, mama. It don't make sense. And I still ask the question, where do all these pow-pows come from? Carla Henry said, look at all them young people just got unalive. Girl, I saw that, Carla, in Chicago. Girl, it's too much. Listen. These children are growing without structure. And I'm always say it starts in the home. Starts in the home. And the decisions that they're making, it's causing them their lives at an all-time high. I can't stand Sassy. I don't even want to look at the screen because she got me tickled. And she ain't straight in my throat. And I'm holding this teacup in my hand. Someone else is stepping in. Sassy, no, we ain't playing with you today. Ann says, question, did the police investigate this boy's parents and ask them where did their son get these? And I want to Find out about the parents myself. I want to know. Look, my girl sent me. Thank you, Kristen. Let's hope the mom knows that we're here praying for her. Oh, yes, Kristen, we're praying for all that's involved. Oh, yes, 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 most definitely. So, Sean said Jhersi gets to look after her father in the spirit world, and she does. And she does. But you know, that baby's life was cut short. Short. She didn't have a chance. And the fact that her father begged this bitch to spare Jhersi's life, just knowing that is on tape, that he asked his ass to spare that baby's life. They go cook him. He will be in Angola writing out his last meal request. I promise you that. Hey, Hazel Red, welcome, boo. Wanda said they just don't understand that they're trying to kill us and our own people are killing us too. Kids matter. In fact, that's who's doing it, kids. Tammy, that part, sis. Morning always comes before destruction. And it's up to us to heed to the warning. If not, we're going to get rolled over in the worst way. That part, Tanya's system been broken. Been broken. Tanya said his story drop kicks you in the stomach. Girl, it's a lot. And we're going to be back to revisit this story when more information becomes available. PJ, I'm with you. Pastor too busy passing the collection plate to focus on what's really needs to be addressed. Needs to be addressed. My heart hurts for that family. Tammy says you must have a personal relationship with God and ask for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the word for yourself. You better say that, girl. Men and women of the cloth are God's messengers. That's it, and that's all. But who sent them, Tammy? We got to ask that question. Who sent them? Some of them just went. Very few were called. Very few were chosen. Most of them just went. So they could miss me with that shit. PJ says, Moca, I've been telling people for years, churches now is a money-making business. And it is. And it is. How is it? How are we as people supposed to feel? I understand God says tithes and offerings. I understand that. But what these pastors don't understand, tithes don't always mean money. How does that make me feel watching little old ladies robbing Peter to pay Paul, stealing from themselves out of their little social security checks to make sure pastor got XYZ? Little old lady ain't living the best life. house falling apart, barely got food to make it from 1 month to the next, a check not meeting the next check. But she's giving Pastor her money. Pastor pulls up for service. He has a driver. The driver opens the door. Pastor First Lady gets out. Then you follow Pastor home. Pastor has a house bigger than a church where 15, 20 families could live in it. Make that make sense. That is not of God. That ain't God. No way. But we got to know him for ourselves. That's it and that's all. But I ain't here to talk about God up in here. Sean said 2 trick-or-treaters wearing Pennywise costumes were hit. Pictures all over Facebook. Wow. A lot has been going on. Ann says when a person takes a child's life, it's showing they grew up with no morals, no discipline, and no damn structure. We learned it starts at home first and how they're not being raised. And that part. That part. Mm, that part. Look at Sass and Kristen in here with their pissing contest. Strong Survive said that's the very reason I don't respect any woman nor man that use kids as pawns because of their dislike for each other instead of putting the children and their happiness first. You know, and that's sad. That happens all the time. All the time. PJ says, Moca, my former pastor, would tell us, if you don't have any money, come touch the table. God will still bless you. PJ, we had an elder pastor, God rest his soul, many moons ago. Those were his words. When it was time for offering, he didn't want to see nobody sitting down. Even if you ain't got it, pass and touch the table. Thank you, Sassy. Thank you, Kristen. Thank y'all so very much. But guys, this story, unlike others, or like so many others, they're getting worse and worse each day. And I ain't stretching this via vocals because today is my first day back in business. And I'm looking at the time. I've been here 2 hours and 15 minutes. Y'all know better than that, but this story had to be told. But we'll be back on tomorrow doing what we do. Doing just what we do. I appreciate everybody that sits with me through this pain to understand the truth. We go keep following this case as it unfolds. Every update, every court date, every bit of truth that tries to hide in the dark. Until then, hug your babies tighter. Tell somebody that you love them. And if you see pain brewing on your block, speak up. Because silence kills. And I'm going to say good night. I'm going to say God bless. And I'll see you all on tomorrow, if God says the same. For now, good night, Monroe. Good night, family. And good night to those angels we lost on Grammar Street.
We stand tall, we rise as one. No lapels, the work ain't done. No. Mocha leading from the heart, never run. Truth and care in everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. This is family. This is family. And we stand tall. Tapping if you real, we don't fake nothing here. Got a team full of truth and a chat full of cheer. Mocha in the seat, steady steering the ship. Every topic got depth, every comment got grip. We don't tear folks down, we just build them up. If you're moving off love, then you one of us. Know the pride in the room and the vibe so loud. Every bell in the check gon' rep that crowd. We stand tall, we rise as one. Know the bells, the work ain't done. Mocha leading from the heart, never run. Truth and care in everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. This is family. This is family. And we stand tall. Down in the north where the soul don't break. Mocha built the lane where the real ones stay. Ain't no faking the funk, ain't no playing for clout. You bring that mess, we gon' sort that out. But this ain't about drama, it's about love, it's about healing, it's about trust. Every child, every voice, every name in the breeze. We gon' stand for the ones no one else gon' see. So we rise tall, we rise as one. Oh no, no bellows, the work ain't done. Mocha leading from the heart, never run. Truth and care in everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. This is family. This is family. And we stand tall. One mic, one tribe, one mission in mind. We protect what's right and we hold that line. It's the chat where the truth and the love collide. Where the voices don't hide and the pain gets light. We see you, we feel you,